More pupils are expected to return to classrooms this week. Public schools, are on a forced 4-week break, with grade 12s having had only 1 week off. Teachers' unions called for the closure as the country was experiencing a high rate of COVID-19 infections. Let's go over to our reporter, Tshegohaco Moagi. She joins me for more from Jeppe High School. What's the situation there, Tshego?
Well, Jane, the grade 8s have had their orientation. The principal, Dina Gonzalez, has spoken to them and really just reassured them of what they have done to ensure that they are very safe at the school in itself. They do have the screenings. They also have counselors, grade 12 learners who are counselors. And to give us details about the counselors and also what they have done to ensure that the learning and teaching does continue, I am joined by Jeppe High School for Girls Principal Dina Gonzalez. Thank you so much for your time, Dina. So just give us details about the counselors. Let's just start there. That's very interesting for me. The grade 12 learners are counselors. How did you guys decide on that, and what do they do?
They are on the RCL of the school, and their support is just as a peer assistance support. So they're here to welcome them. The girls are very scared and nervous this morning, and to just have a friendly face with the same uniform just helps to settle the nerves. So their role was to hand out the sanitizer, the masks, and to also do the screening questions and pick up any anomalies that may have come up from the screening.
And then you have decided that you will bring back the grade 8s today. And of course, we spoke about the rotational learning. How has that worked out, and what have you been doing?
The grade 8s, we knew that it's actually 5 months today that they haven't been at school. And we knew that them being younger would find it more difficult to have the self-discipline and the motivation at home to just carry on with the home schooling or the lockdown learning programs. And the teachers have been monitoring via the Google Classroom platforms, as well as WhatsApp groups, as well as any materials that the girls have come to pick up, extra books, extra notes and that kind of thing, but not having the on-site learning, not having the contact time, not having the one-on-one questions, the engagement, the peer conversations and all that, I think has taken its toll both on the teachers and the learners. And the teachers are very excited today that the grade 8s are back. We have wanted this a long time ago, but with the peak we couldn't really go ahead with it. So we're excited today that maybe we're starting a new journey with them, and it will be a hybrid going forward. So we have half the group here today and then half the group here to manage the social distancing. And the DBE have given us a trimmed curriculum, which we're working on at the moment, and we're preparing them to do some kind of formal assessment, because the assessment has been very informal. It's been where girls have been able to submit, and so we haven't really been taking those marks in. We've just been looking at it in terms of progress, where they're at and what we need to do as teachers in order to catch them up. So we've got various groupings at the school today. We've got groupings that have really been on board. We've had 1 or 2 girls who've been away from the province, have been stuck in other provinces and are now coming back. They haven't had their books with them, so they'll have to do a major catch up. And so we'll be settling them in terms of trying to get back into a rhythm and a routine of learning that they haven't been used to at this stage. I know as teenagers they will wake up late in the morning, so the productive part of the day has been lost in the mornings. They've had to share homes with parents working from home and siblings running around and doing their thing. So the girls are saying that home has had many distractions, and they haven't been feeling as productive as they usually are at school. So teachers have been trying, the learners have been working as much as they can, but one thing we've felt is that we haven't been able to assess where everybody is at. It's very much an individual thing. Some have been streaking ahead with their work, some have been lagging behind. We now have got to find a happy medium going forward.
And it is going to be quite difficult to find that happy medium, especially with teachers that have got comorbidities. How are you working that out, and how many teachers do you guys have at the school who have applied and have been approved to work from home?
We currently have 2 teachers that will be in their 3rd trimester of their pregnancy, so we're letting them work from home. And the way that we work with that is the teacher will be doing a live stream to the class. So the class will still be able to have interaction with their teacher while there's a substitute teacher in place. So we think that can still happen. And then we've had, due to illness, we've had a few cases where the departments have taken over. So if it's the maths department, and other maths teachers have filled in, because on a rotational basis it does mean that there are some teachers who are not going to be teaching at a particular time. They'll be doing some online classes, so they have filled in for those. And we've managed to really keep the continuity of the learning for those classes going. And the teachers have been very supportive of helping each other out to make sure that the learners do get learning.
It is teamwork, isn't it, Dina? A lot of teamwork needs to work with this. But also, what are some of the concerns that have been raised by the parents? I mean, the teamwork does not just come from the teachers. The parents also have to work with the school.
Certainly. I hear and I feel that anxiety from the parents through our COVID hotline. We've got a hotline where parents can just send in their concerns. And so we know that in some family homes, there are elderly in the homes, so they're anxious that if there's some COVID that's been caught at the school, that it will go home. So there is that real fear and that real anxiety. And to try and manage that has also been very difficult. The parents have been very supportive as well. And in cases where there's been extreme fear or anxiety, we are obviously supporting those in as best we can. Although with the teamwork, trying to manage the individual cases at home has been rather more difficult, we've tried to instill within the girls to have a buddy system, where each girl in a class has got a buddy that if she's at home for whatever reason, that they will then be given the work, whether it's an exercise, whether it's a photograph, so that the girls are accountable to each other. And should there be a serious difficulty, then they can contact the school and contact the teacher directly, because we just feel with so many different cases, whether it's been comorbidities or just fear, it's been very difficult to manage. So the ones we've been trying to manage first have been the grade 12s. And we have got 3 that are at home, and we are administering assessment electronically and through different other means to try and get them up to speed. But the girls have made, from their side, from the parent side, they've made everything possible that they can to work with the school. We really have been blessed that way.
Great. Thank you so much, Dina Gonzalez. She's the principal of Jeppe High School for Girls, just giving us details about the plans they've put in place, Jane, going forward, and really how they are doing the rotational learning. Jane, back to you.
Thanks, Tshegohaco.